Okay, let's make a start. This is Yoshinobu Matsuzaki. I'm going to moderate the next panel session here, shaking the network. So this is a map summarizing the disaster in our region from the perspective of geology and damage. Simply put, this shows we have a history of disasters in our region. And then maybe in the future, somewhere, sometime, we have another disaster in our region, right? The internet is getting important to our life. Business, communications, entertainment, right? So that importance is getting higher. So that means we need to protect our network, even during the disaster, so that people can communicate and design the future plan, right? So for that, we need to study from the recent earthquake. What can we do in the future? What a lesson learned? What a vulnerability or weak point in our infrastructure, and what can we do for the next event? So we have three panelists here. Okay, let me. Can I get Tanapon? Yes. From the True Internet Corporation. So basically, telecom and ISP in this country, and Thein. Founder and CEO from Myanmar Internet Exchange, Kenichi, Ken, from Telehouse, Thailand, so data center. So we have three specialists here to discuss about the earthquake event. So I'd like to ask Thein to show your experience about the recent earthquakes. So can you switch on the Thein slide, please?
Hello.
Next. You can stand or sit what you want.
Hello, my name is Thein. You can call me Miss Kai. I'm the CEO of Myanmar Internet Exchange. So I'd like to start. Everybody knows 28 March is a big day. So these are pictures I collected from the internet. So Myanmar hit this disaster and so much damage and so much casualties. So after earthquake, the first problem is we cannot call mobile phone each other. All the networks jam, so network congested. Luckily, we can call each other using the app, using the Viber, Line, any other application, Messenger. This is one of the advantages. It's happening not only in the disaster area like a Mandalay neighborhood, but also Yangon. Every network congested, mobile network, but we can still use application. I also could not call my mother, so I have to go back to home and check my mother if she is okay or not. So the first and serious problem is lack of electricity, especially at the disaster area. The first problem is shortage of water. So some area, they even do not have a drinking water and they generally use water. So another region, they have to run to the disaster area and have to provide drinking water fast. And telecommunication cut off. So communication lost each other, especially in the damaged area. For the power outage, not only the disaster area, but also for the Yangon. I'm living in Yangon. Yangon didn't happen big problem. We feel shaking, but no damage in Yangon. Maybe a little damage, but we don't know. Nobody informed that. So at that time, we also surprised why Bengal is damaged so much, because Yangon is in the middle, Bengal is far away. Now I understand because of the soft soil and some other reason. Yangon is still okay. So for the power, national grid also damaged. That's why even in Yangon, we can get electricity just very few part-times for most of the area. Now everything is, nearly everything is recovered, for the power. Connectivity damage. So definitely communication lost. We lost all the disaster area, and also including some other area passing through the disaster area. So these are the SAM data center. SAM data center. This data center is a Nebiro. Now they have to repair it. They lost a data center connectivity. Even of some government data center, they damaged and they cannot activate very soon. It takes time. Some application they have to move to the other platform. So for the MMI service, we have POP in Yangon, Mandalay, Nebiro, Tachile. So all the Mandalay, Nebiro, Tachile, the fiber connectivity damage. We lost connectivity to all these areas. Actually, between Yangon and Mandalay, there is a redundant route, right side and left side, both route damaged. So we lost totally to the Mandalay. But ISP there very quick for the recovery. So some link it can recover after 2 or 3 days, but totally after 15 days we can recover the MMI service. This is a 2 building. That's, we hosted our devices in Mandalay. Left side is Ocean Way Data Center, right side is Myanmar Country Data Center. Even Ocean Way, you may notice that building. That building is not a data center. Data center is left side, a small one, that building. This data center didn't damage because a small building. But the building right side is the office building of Ocean Way. That building is damaged. So no one cannot stay there. Now, most of the stuff there, they have to use a temporary tank and they are working there. The right side, the data center this is a 21 floors building. The data center is topmost floor. Luckily, this building didn't collapse, but some damage. You may notice some damage there. So all the stuff, more than 100 stuff, they have to run down from the top. So luckily, all the equipment there didn't damage. We can recover back. So after this disaster, we discussed what shall we do. So we decided to give free Wi-Fi for the camp, some disaster camp. So this is our project, and we can set up total 8 sites. So total 8 sites we can provide free Wi-Fi. Some ISP they are providing internet link. Some contributor they are providing equipments. Wi-Fi equipment, so MMIX provided any necessary, including manpower. So this is our implementation do the disaster camp. So we our team are setting up the equipment. So current situation. Most of the electricity recover back most area. Internet service provider are very quick to recover. So most of the area recover, at least mobile data is working well, most of the area. But ISPs loses many CPEs in the disaster area because of buildings are damaged. They cannot charge for these lost. They have to provide new CPEs at the disaster area. And relocation rate is very high because they have to move one place to another and move back to another. So ISP have to relocate and lay out a fiber again. So although most of the services are nearly recovered, but intermittent problem because they are cleaning the debris after the disaster. So fiber, most of the fiber are overhead fiber. So during that time, we lost connectivity. That connectivity is not only within the city, but also from the long distance. From Yangon to Mandalay, we lost connectivity often. So that is my slide. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Wow, wonderful. So thanks for sharing such kind of experience for us. So next up, and then Tanapon. So can you switch in the Tanapons? Yep.
Thank you. Okay. Swadee Krap. My name's Tanapon from True Corporation. So let me. I list an agenda together, but let me skip some of it because, for example, Dr. Paning already talked about a little bit about what's going on in Bangkok, the earthquake situation. So I'm gonna just present portion the perspective of what happened to True Network and core internet network. So the first picture that everybody's asking, what was the effect that causing from this earthquake? So let me show you one of the picture. So for True Corporation, we have network that serving not only mobile but also broadband service, which is online, and also B2B customers. The core network is 3.2 terabit, and we have about 3.2 terabit of traffic going abroad. All of that still intact during the earthquake and right after the earthquake. We did not have any outage or down on that, but with exception of maybe some of the few mobile cell that went down due to earthquake. But after that, it was all fine. But what we saw was during the earthquake, we see internet traffic drop quite a bit. But right after the earthquake, it just come back up during that 1:40 p.m. at the time of the earthquake in Bangkok. Okay, but on the overall picture of traffic, this is what happened. For the online traffic itself, I'm sorry, the picture may not be that clear, but there was a little drop on the online side. But on the mobile, during the earthquake, it dropped. But right after the earthquake, you could see that for the mobile traffic, it jumped drastically, especially all the social media, for example, Facebook, Line, and Google, all of them drastically jump up. And during the incident, during the 1:30 to 1:45 period, we see a huge increase on the mobile network, both True and DTAC. If you follow the news, True and DTAC, we are merged together. So we still have the infrastructure that serve both True and DTAC mobile customer. We're seeing over 500% increase in traffic during and right after the earthquake on the mobile side, whereas online it dropped quite a bit during the incident time. Okay, so these are some example, the increase. What I was saying, 500% increase, that's overall the whole country. But in Bangkok, where the most affected during that peak time, 1:33 p.m., we see over 1,000% increase in traffic in Bangkok alone. And many other regions we see a lot of increase as well. People are calling and check each other. So this is on the right side, you could see the picture of how the mobile traffic jumped up during the incident. People just pick up the phone, call each other, trying to check family, friends, are everybody okay or not. That's where most of the congestion occur during that incident at around 1:30 to 1:45 p.m. But right after that, the traffic just dropped back down. Okay, that's the total picture of what happened during the earthquake period. Okay, but one of the I'm sorry. Let me put together this one. This is the commercial team has asked me to put this one in. So basically, for True, we have a redundant infrastructure to serve our customers. So part of this redundant infrastructure, at present we have internet, as I mentioned to you, 3.2 terabit going down into Singapore. But by third quarter of this year, by July, we will have our own subsea going out called SJC2. So that's improvement that we are implementing within True to serve our customers. Okay, so that's part of what we are going to be doing. One of the lessons learned that I was just going to mention was that we did not have an early warning system, but it was implementing and was about to put in place. So one of the early warning system is called cell broadcast service. This is being regulated or put together by Thai government. What this system will do is it will allow the government to be able to send alert to customer within areas or cell site that they want to send alert out. So some of you that are in Thai, you may have seen a message on the mobile phone sending alert, a trial test. That was tested. So True did implement this cell broadcast at the beginning of the year. And right after the earthquake, now we bring this and do a test. So after this, if there's a disaster or events, the government would have a way of now communicating to Thais. So this is one of the lessons learned that I would recommend to any other country that you need to implement this. So this is just some wording example of the message that people will be receiving from the government. It will be written in multiple different languages, explain what's going on, what happened. If we have this in place before the earthquake, maybe we would be able to alert people before earthquake happen. Just these are some of the detailed concepts. Just I'm going to go through quickly. But basically, with this solution, we will be able to alert anybody in any part of Thailand, specific to where they're connecting to cell. So, for example, if I am from Chiang Mai, but I happen to be in Bangkok, and if there's earthquake going on, the government will be able to alert me because I'm in Bangkok, connecting to cell site in Bangkok. So that's one of the key reasons why we are using cell broadcast instead of just SMS broadcast. We want to target directly to the customer who are affected in the affected area. So that's roughly what True is doing, and lesson learned that we learned from this.
Thank you very much. Wow. So you have such a system in the future in case of any future disaster?
Yes. We did test it already. Both the first test was done like right after earthquake within True Tower, and then we have a second and third. The third test was broadcast to everybody in Bangkok. If you live in Bangkok and using True, you should see that message of alert, a trial test as well.
Thank you very much. We have sent the question in advance. So let's go into Q&As. I have first one. What were the early warning signs, if anything? Did you notice something?
No, after we feel shaking, we know it. We cannot know it early.
Okay.
So, for the Mandalay, we have equipment in the data center because I worry about you may know there is a armed conflict and a flood problem and any other problem. I bought insurance. So I thought after this earthquake, insurance, I told her every disaster you need to add. After the earthquake, I thought our devices are okay, even though I check our insurance are okay, but it didn't include the earthquake. Oh. That means that nobody aware of the earthquake, so that we cannot know.
Okay. Just quickly introduction. My name is Ken, Managing Director of Telehouse, and we are operating data center in the last 2 years. And especially we are from Japan. We have a lot to learn. One of the major earthquakes in Japan is back in 15 years. But in reality, we come across earthquakes every year. More than one time, everywhere. So I think this is one of the advantages that we can leverage, experience and preparedness plan coming from Japan to deploy into the overseas data centers as well. Back to the question. This time, I think Bangkok has been designated as one of the disaster risk area, but we didn't receive the early warning systems at this time. But back in March, we got experienced this terrible earthquake, and I think this can trigger the government to accelerate to implement early warning systems, as Kun Tanapon just mentioned, which is, I think, really a first step for this country. Okay.
So for me, I think I already mentioned it a little bit. So we are working with the government, put together the cell broadcasting to be able to alert to ties before or during the instance. But we are thinking of going a few steps further. At present, the broadcast system is only on the mobile device. But what about people in the home connecting to internet broadband? We are looking to do something along that line as well. So there are a few improvement, a lesson learned from here that we will further keep improving.
Thank you very much. So let's go into the next one. So how did the earthquake physically impact internet infrastructure? And if you can share, how long does it take to check the sanity or impact of the infrastructure would be great. Okay. So you already shared some, yeah.
So for the infrastructure, at the affected area, most of the data center damage and some data center is moderately damaged. Based on that, most of the fiber were okay. But we lost electricity. Because of that, we lost communication. And also after earthquake, because of the cleaning, at that time, most of the fiber damaged. During the earthquake, fibers are okay. Just after earthquake, fibers are okay. But after trying to cleaning the area, damaged area, most of the fiber, some area or all the fibers are cut off.
If possible, can you show me the slide? Okay. Go on. Oh yeah, thanks. This one. Okay. About the damages, and as I said, Bangkok has been already designated as a risk area, and just about there is a seismic regulation, seismic standards, established in Thailand, and this regulation has been incorporated into building regulations back in 2007, and in 2021 there was a major revisions to be updated, and very fortunately our data center was designed to comply with that latest version of regulation. So we didn't suffer from any damages and operation impact. We had, inspection with the contractor right after the earthquake. And again, we didn't find any damages, fortunately. I believe this can demonstrate that if you comply with latest standards, seismic standards in Thailand, your data center should be strong enough, robust, considering all the potential risks in the early design phases. And I believe all the data center needs to be comply with these standards. Also, ready for early warning alert systems, operated by the government as well, which is ideal, I think.
Thank you.
Okay. For True, we build redundancy into our network. We have, for example, fiber infrastructure that you mentioned earlier. We have 3 to 4 routes, fiber routes. We have multiple DWDM infrastructure in place, trying to prevent any actual disaster that may occur. In Bangkok, we have multiple data center to prevent any disaster. But today, some of you, I don't know, you're sitting in this room, there was an outage in True mobile network. There was a electrical surge causing some of the core node to went down, and we're switching it over. You may experience some internet issue right now. Mobile access issue just at about 10:30 or so. I have to apologize for that, and we are working on fixing some of those. Technically, there's always something that we cannot predict or did not predict, and it happened. But within True, we're trying the best that we can, trying to prevent any of these disasters by building redundancy. As you see on my slide earlier, we have infrastructure built in place. We have disaster recovery team. So right after disaster, the team take action. They go in doing the same thing while we survey building of the data center that we have, make sure that all infrastructure are still within operation tolerance and there's no additional issue on that. So we've done everything that we can.
Thank you very much. So for the internet connectivity service, we need some international capacity and also connectivity with other network in your country. So what is the most important part from the True point of view?
When you're asking the most important, right now for True, we have infrastructure that connecting to internet through our terrestrial. So going from Bangkok down to Malaysia into Singapore, and from Singapore we go out onto internet. That's our weakest point, because we have only one route through terrestrial. So we are fixing that by, as I mentioned in one of the slides, that we are build our own fiber infrastructure, partnering with a number of provider in Southeast Asia, 10 people, including China, Japan. We have the SJC2 cable that is in commission right now. By end of July, we should have that cable up and running, and we will literally double our capacity and make sure that we mitigate that risk that we have at present to connect out to the internet.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So next question is traffic shift. So Tanapon mentioned about the mobile traffic pattern change. Actually, we see the similar change in Japan during the earthquake and the disasters. Mm-hmm. So just after the disaster, we see, of course, decrease of the traffic. But recently, we found that the traffic coming from user side, so upload link, increased.
Right, 1,000 times.
Oh yeah, not 1,000, but didn't happen before, but recently, because now using the social network and media, and people want to share their damage or situation, that increases our incoming traffic from the consumers. Increasing. So do you see that the similar traffic decrease and increase in Myanmar thing?
Yes, definitely, because most of the Myanmar is using social media. So on your data, you may notice traffic jam because there's many Myanmar in Thailand. They may call to the Myanmar back. Yes. So that's will be happen definitely. During the after the earthquake, Mandalay area, they still have internet access. So, but Yangon to Mandalay network link is totally cut off. So most of the traffic, Mandalay traffic is carried from Yangon through the undersea cable. But undersea cable they lost totally. But I think they still have some terrestrial link to China and maybe across the border to Thailand. So they still have the traffic, but traffic is not very stable, very congested. That's happening. For the detail figure, I don't have like you should.
Thank you very much. So you don't have a traffic side, so maybe.
Okay, so for us, we have built more than double infrastructure-wise on the internet side, so we were able to cope with the traffic. However, on the mobile side, that's one of the lessons learned, because as soon as earthquake happened, everybody pick up the phone. First thing you do is you call using voice call, and that's where that, I'm sorry, not 1,000 times, but 1,000% jump increase in traffic and cause major congestion. And it's affecting people. People thought that the network were down. In actual reality, it wasn't down, but because it was utilization to the max, so you could not access voice call. And many people who are tech savvy switch over to social media, over to lines, over to and many other options, was able to communicate. Me, for one, I was able to get in touch with my sister, my mom, via lines and things like that. So lesson learned was that we need to build higher, more capacity on the mobile side, and we need to constantly keep up with this internet link on the social side, and maybe educate people on if you have problem calling voice, switch over to social, and that's what's happening right now within True Network as well. That we have some problem today.
Yep. And also, there's some key that how will people to get an information about disasters. So in Japan, once we have any disaster, we have a emergency programming on the TV shows and the radios. People immediately turn on the TV to get information. But how about the situation here in Thailand?
That's another weak point. As I mentioned to you, that first things that we fixed right after that was cell broadcast. We don't have that channel, and the news, people are watching and listening through social media. Some of them are correct, some of them may not be 100% correct. So we need to fix some of those. I would urge government to help, maybe do something similar to what Japan is doing. So broadcast, from official government, because we worry that people went on social media and then, may not have communicated everything 100% correctly. And we are working on, as I mentioned, the broadband side to be able to broadcast the same message on the mobile for Thai people as well when incident happen.
Yep, that's a good point. And also people's behavior reflected the traffic, and also we need to educate people how to get them proper information, right information, necessary information. Right. That's also important point. Thank you very much. So also, do you see any long-term change of the traffic pattern after the disaster? If
on my graph, you could see it drop drastically within an hour or two, everything came back down to normal, at least for people in Bangkok. And we also see in other part of country also the same thing within an hour and two. Once we were able to re-establish communication, get everybody to make call or get on social media, everything came back down within an hour or so. So it did not take that long. The disaster did not affect our infrastructure that much, so we were able to serve the customer.
Okay, thank you. Thein, so in Myanmar, so you mentioned the people relocating around and also damage after the recovery period. So do you see any traffic pattern change in your country?
But it's happening within the ISP manageable area. So traffic may not change so much, but within that area, maybe let's say for the Naypyidaw, but only there's one giant ISP there. They are very busy to move or relocation one place to another place. So that's happening within their management.
Thank you very much. So at the data center, you don't see much in the traffic side, but do you see any change in the electricity or power and other stuff?
Well, to be honest, there's not been like a serious issue in terms of power supply. Maybe traffic has been spiked, but we didn't come across any issues from a power supply perspective. All the operation was quite stable, and we didn't identify any specific issues there.
Thank you very much. So let's go into the next question. What technical or operational changes are now being placed or implemented after the disaster?
Most ISP, including government sector, definitely they are looking for the redundancy, especially data center redundancy. Not only that, but also for the powering system. During the disaster period, the power issue is very big. So some ISP, they start implementing a solar system, some other backup system seriously. So that is happening. They are looking for the redundancy for another data center, maybe in Yangon or somewhere, some other location.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Can you show my slide again? Yeah. Thank you. Oops. So I think for Thailand, for me as well, this was quite first time to see this level of earthquake. And across the industry, there is a renewed focus at the moment to review site selection, construction design, and network redundancy. Really. So I'd like to raise, some of the points from both technical and operational perspective. Okay, from technical perspective, we need to. It's quite important to incorporate seismic structure design in the early design phases, and also risk-based scenario planning as well. Like I said, as long as you comply with Thai regulation of seismic, level, you should be, strong enough to withstand this level of earthquake for sure. Okay, and furthermore, as data center is one of the critical infrastructures to support the internet, and as a lifeline, data center should be designed to meet the highest classification standards in the criteria. Okay, on the operation side, I think it's fundamental that to conduct pre-disaster risk assessments. Okay, pre-disaster risk assessments. We do risk assessments and try to document in emergency operation procedures and also business continuity plans. So I'd like to raise these points. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
So for True, I think I mentioned a number of things that we have built in place already. Redundancy. One of the things on the infrastructure, we also have flood prevention because Thailand, Bangkok is in a prone flooded area. But the building to be able to withstand earthquake and things like that wasn't designed, built into the requirement initially. But we are now start looking into that. We have teams that do disaster recovery. We are working very close with them to make sure they include a number of earthquake prone issue and problem into our design of our data center, our core network infrastructure and things like that. So there's still things that we are learning and we are improving. In addition, I mentioned earlier, working with government closer to be able to get all the right message back to Thai people. That's important. So cell broadcast we are doing that. On the mobile side, we're working on that. True also have True Vision, which is basically a cable TV network infrastructure. Maybe we could do something on that to be able to give the right communication messages back to all Thais. So something that we will be working on with the government on this as well.
Thank you very much. From the operational side, so even during the disaster or flooding, can you continue the operation?
Yes, we have a design operation center team with the disaster in mind. So our main operation center team is at True Tower. But if there's an event of disaster, you cannot access True Tower. There's another building that the team could go access. But that day, everybody came down, and that particular team that doing operation center, they move over to the backup disaster site, where that disaster site is on the ground floor. So we were able to continue operate and manage the network. So there was number of customer complaint, give me a call directly saying that there was a problem with the network, but in reality they meant mobile network, not on the online side, and there was some confusion, but we were able to address and resolve. I was able to contact the operation center and identify where the problem is and get things resolved for the customer right away.
Thank you very much for sharing. So let's go into the next one. How did pre-existing peering relationships help for the disaster?
So technically, we could not help each other. Everybody have a disaster, and MMIX also lost to our POPs in disaster area. But so by socially, we can help each other. So when we try to set up free Wi-Fi, we can negotiate with our existing members and to provide internet access, free internet access to donate, so they are cooperating each other. So that is socially, we have that advantages based on the peering.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so for True, again, we do not have any major incident that causing us to work with our partner, but we identify a number of weak points. One of them was the subsea on internet access, which we built our own subsea, and it's about to be in place. So those are something that we're working on. Same thing. If you remember in the big news, we have a building that came down. The government agency was asking us for help. We set up free Wi-Fi access in the disaster site to be able to get people who working on that building able to have internet access, communication access. We also doing the same thing.
Do you see also the increase of the peering relationship after the disaster, or it's almost the same as before? So after disaster, do you see more peering relationship among the networks in your country, or?
More and more ISP are joining MMIX, so we can say that. But now, before and after, not so much different.
Okay. And in Thai?
So for me, I think we have so many different peering partner but we still continue to expanding. So because of those redundancy, and make sure that our infrastructure are capable to cope with any disaster or any issue. So the answer is yes, we are continue working, but do we do anything special or extra? The answer is no. We just continue working the same way that we've been doing, but we still consider expanding, peering with different partner. In fact, today I was talking to one of the partner as well about expanding into the network as well. I hope she's here in the room.
Thank you very much. Do you have anything to add, Ken? No. Okay. So let's go into the next one. What capacity building or training do you think the internet community needs to better prepare for future disasters?
Quite difficult question. So for the training, we are. I actually I don't know which kind of training we should prepare for that. For the disaster, sometimes we are thinking about the collecting data, but when we check it, is some international organization doing that, so they also may have a problem. They may also have an arrangement for that. So we are looking for the which area we should participate, and we are keep discussing on this. So meanwhile, we don't have a special arrangement.
Can you go back to my slide? Okay. So this time, most of the operators, including telco data centers, thought that was unexpected earthquake. So I think very important to take advantage of this opportunity for the future potential disasters. I want to raise two things here. One is everybody needs to uphold a sense of responsibility for maintaining trusted digital infrastructure. As you already aware that in the normal time, internet, telecom, mobile, data center, IXP, they are all one of the critical digital social infrastructures, right? We are not allowed to stop our service. But especially during the disaster time, it's also become more important a lifeline. You need to contact your family, your kids, your wife, and everybody important. So without internet, nobody can do anything, right? So we have to realize that again, we need to train the people, educate the people. Okay, so the second point is that cross-company regular simulation is essential, I think. Simulation drills. And the drills should be based and conducted on EOP or DR plans, okay, which is necessary for you to prepare in advance. It's too late, after you come across a disaster. So now it's a great opportunity for everybody to prepare for the next risk. Okay.
So for us, I guess this earthquake is a big wake-up call. Lesson learned. We did prepare, but it wasn't enough or fast enough. We did take lesson from Japan, like for example, the cell broadcast. It's a solution that the government was looking into implement, but it wasn't fast enough. It's something that we now wake up and we have to implement it, and we just implement it and we'll put in place. Hopefully the next disaster will become a bit more aware. Secondly, number of issues that we discover are problems. Training that you have mentioned are something that we are working to try to improve our network infrastructure to be able to cope with all these disasters. And lesson learned, hopefully we be able to help educate other people in other countries, similar to what we learned from Japan on this earthquake issue. So hopefully this would be helpful for everybody else. If they would be interested, I'm more than happy to help showing them what we have learned and things like that. And it's a wake-up call that anybody who have not prepared, I would recommend prepare for it, because you never know it could happen to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So going to the last question, what advice would you give to operators in neighboring countries who might face similar natural disasters in the future?
Okay, the first and important matter is redundancy. Redundancy, not only the data center redundancy, but also the electricity data center. Electricity is very important. You cannot, during the disaster period, you cannot rely on national grid. Also, the generator, you may be difficult to get petrol. So another powering source like a solar system, you need to have a backup. Also, definitely data center. If possible, fiber redundancy is also very important. In Mandalay case, we have a different fiber route, but both route damaged. So we lost from Yangon to Mandalay. So major traffic we lost. They are getting internet, but via the cross-border lines, the capacity is very low.
So can you show my last slide? Okay. Thank you. So like I said, we already recognize that we take role as essential part of the lifeline, especially during the disaster time. That was tragedy and unexpected thing back in March, but this event has reinforced our social responsibility again. Okay, so one thing I want to raise is that disaster preparedness should not be seen as a matter of protecting your own facility alone, but we should recognize this as a contribution to regional resilience and for community. So I think that important to enhance cooperation among infrastructure providers and also government working together. We cannot be prepared enough, even if we make efforts ourselves, but communities, including government, providers, digital society needs to work together here. Okay, and another point, we need to keep following this cycle in your company. That's one of my suggestions to risk assessment, of course, develop a BCP plan, training, and the continuous improvement. So always you can be only prepared in normal time. Again, it's too late to start thinking about this after the disaster, right? Okay. And as Telehouse is actually a KDDI group company, which is a mobile and a telecom operator. We respect this core principle that assume the worst and prepare for the best. Thank you.
Thank you. I agree to both of my colleagues here. We're in the same industry. We're seeing the same thing. So yes, redundancy, build in proper infrastructure, have the people ready, well-trained, plan, disaster recovery plan. We must have that in place. If you ask me about 3-4 months ago, is earthquake something that you should be considered? I would say be on the bottom of my things or item agenda that I need to do. But from there, I do learn, a lesson learned is things that you never thought of, it could happen. It really could happen. So yes, I do agree that we need to prepare for them. And that's the key important lesson here. I would recommend everybody to prepare for it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I show my slide? So this leads us and end of this panel session. But lastly, let me share one book and quote. So this is written by the one Japanese Ministry of Land and Infrastructure Japan, and they, of course, we have many disasters in Japan, and this one was from the 2011, one of the biggest disaster in Japan. And during the moment, the ministry worked hard to recover the situation. And from that experience, they made this statement: we made all possible preparations. What we prepared was still not enough. Right? So we cannot predict the future disasters, but for that we need to prepare, right? So this emphasizes the importance of the preparation, of course, but still highlighting the need to think and act accordingly to the situation. So for that sense, the coordination and the cooperation is quite important. It's a key for us to work together, right? So let's continue working together for the better internet operation. With that, I'd like to conclude this panel session. Thanks for the panelists for sharing your very valuable experience with our community members. Thank you very much.
Yep.